what's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then welcome to our little corner of the internet. Today we're going to be watching a video titled What If US Marines Fought History's Greatest Empires, which we already know the Marines go crazy, okay? They go crazy. So I'm really excited to see what this video is about. Before we start though, just a little heads up, in the next 3 days or 4 days there's going to be only 2 videos posted a day because I'm going on a little trip with my mom, so I need to pre-record a little bit. And also we are so close to hitting 100k. I think tonight we're going to be streaming on my Twitch, celebrating already and trying to push 100k tonight. So if you want to join us, the link is in the description below. And without further ado, let's see what this video is about.
What if a modern US Marine unit got dropped alone into 6 different points in history? Without any backup, resupply, or GPS, just 15 days of fuel and ammo. The unit is a 2026 Marine Expeditionary Unit, or MEU. No tanks. Those got cut under the new Pacific Focus Doctrine. What they do have is the F-35B stealth jet, Viper attack helicopters, HIMARS rocket artillery, Javelin anti-tank missiles, and some of the best infantry weapons in the world. But
Isn't that the puzzle piece? That doesn't look like it though. It's the FB2 bomber is the puzzle. The puzzle piece, I call it a puzzle, the Dorito. I don't think it's that one though.
Without GPS, their HIMARS rockets would have to rely purely on internal navigation, meaning their accuracy gets worse and worse over long distances. And once the 15 days are up, it's over. 6 fights. Let's see how it goes. Persia, 480 BC. Xerxes' invasion force. Modern historians put it at around 150,000 to 200,000 soldiers, roughly a 90-to-1 numbers disadvantage for the Marines. The Persian plan is to push thousands of archers forward behind walls of wicker shields, then send cavalry around the sides to surround the Marines. It worked against every enemy they'd ever faced. The problem
I don't think it's gonna work with the Marines though.
is their bows max out at around 500 feet. The M240B machine gun starts tearing things apart from nearly a mile away. The Persians can't even see what's killing them. The Marines' biggest concern here isn't the arrows, it's their own guns overheating. No resupply means every barrel and every bullet counts. The M240B needs a mandatory barrel swap every 10 minutes at sustained fire. Push it harder and that drops to every 2 minutes. So Marine commanders only open fire at ranges where they almost can't miss. After 3 days of watching their front line disappear without explanation, Xerxes orders a full assault. When the Persians get close enough, every Marine weapon opens up at once. Then a Viper helicopter shows up, and that's when the Persian army stops being an army. Nothing in the ancient world can prepare soldiers for a machine that flies, roars, and can't be stopped by anything they're carrying.
I mean, at this point, couldn't they just, pass by with the bomber? That sounds so cruel. But I'm just saying, that could be an option.
The elite immortals try to hold their ground, but mortar rounds dropping from above, something no shield wall was ever built to handle, break them apart. By afternoon, the greatest army of the ancient world is running. Marines win, 99% chance. Rome, 117 AD.
This is a fun video though. I'm
Trajan's
gonna... Oh, sorry. I'm gonna enjoy this.
percent chance. Rome, 117 AD. Trajan's legions at their peak. Around 80,000 to 100,000 professional soldiers who know how to besiege, fortify, and slowly wear enemies down. Roman commanders aren't going to charge across open ground after watching their front units get wiped out. They'll dig in, trenches, walls, barriers, and try to box the Marines in. With no resupply and only 15 days of supplies, that approach could actually work. So the Marines go aggressive at night. Recon teams with thermal optics and silenced weapons slip into Roman camps, destroying siege equipment and cutting off the food, water, and supplies the whole Roman operation depends on. At 2 a.m., an F-35B flying too high to hear drops a laser-guided bomb onto Trajan's command tent. The Emperor and his senior commanders are gone. At the same time, HIMARS hit the packed tent city. Without GPS, targeting isn't perfect, but against that many troops packed that closely together, it doesn't need to be. Armored vehicles push through the wooden barriers. Roman soldiers, with no one left to give orders, in total darkness, do what any person would. They run. Marines win, 90% chance.
Times have changed. It would be pretty hard to, in those times, fight against flying airplanes and missiles when basically all you have is sticks and stones.
Mongols, 13th century.
Well, not sticks and stones, that's mean, but
Subutai, widely considered one of the greatest military minds in history. His approach for enemies he couldn't beat in open battle: surround them, cut them off, and wait. That's exactly the right call against the Marines. If the Mongols just ride circles around the MEU for a few weeks, the 15-day clock runs out and the Marines lose without a single battle. Subutai would figure that out fast. But the Marines won't chase. Sending vehicles across the open steppe burns fuel they can never replace. So they dig in and force the Mongols to come to them. Their seismic ground sensors and long-range thermal optics pick up the vibration and heat signatures of tens of thousands of moving horses. The Mongol element of surprise is gone before they even get close. Subutai tries a night attack, figuring the vehicles go blind in the dark. They don't. Thermal imaging picks up heat rather than light, and a horse gives off a lot of it. A charging force of 40,000 cavalry shows up on screen from over half a mile away. Every weapon on the perimeter opens up. HIMARS stays out of it. Without GPS, it's too imprecise against fast-moving targets anyway. Subutai sees it isn't working and pulls back. He's not stupid. He'll go around. Marines win, 85% chance. British Empire, 1920. Post-World War I British Expeditionary Force. For the first time, the Marines are up against an enemy with artillery that can actually hit back from miles away. The British bring Mark V tanks, armor less than half an inch thick. A Javelin punches through over 2 feet of modern steel, so firing one at a Mark V is a complete overkill. The tank doesn't just stop, it blows apart and takes out the soldiers around it.
But at least they have tanks.
British biplanes trying to scout Marine positions run into
and airplanes.
An automated anti-air system built to shoot down fast-moving drones. A slow, fragile biplane has no chance. The real danger is the artillery.
But it's kind of scary, not scary, but it's interesting to watch this video and see how things are evolving all the time, and the type of technology we have nowadays. Oof. Already nuclear weapons and all of that, I think is the top of the iceberg when it comes to weapons, but most likely it's just gonna get crazier, because everything's evolving all the time. Imagine in 500 years, we're gonna have some type of laser guns that can travel through time and hit any target on the other side of the world like a handgun.
British commanders can sit miles back and pound them.
By the way, if that idea ever comes to life and someone makes millions off of it, I said it first, okay? At least that's 15%, 10%. We can negotiate. But it was my idea.
Marine position all day. Without GPS, HIMARS rockets relying on backup internal navigation lose their pinpoint accuracy over maximum distances. The Marines solve this by moving their launchers forward at night, closing the gap so the backup guidance is still accurate enough, and taking out the British gun positions before dawn. After watching their tanks get destroyed one by one and their artillery gone, the British commander, professional, rational, and very much alive, calls for a ceasefire and opens negotiations. Marines win, 75% chance. Imperial Japan, 1942. Dense jungle, volcanic terrain, and in some places, you can't see more than 65 feet ahead. All of the Marines' best advantages start falling away. Radar gets blocked by the terrain. Air support becomes too risky when the enemy is right up against your own lines. And every bullet spent is one they can never replace. The Japanese forces carry bolt-action rifles, heavy machine guns, and light mortars. Their tanks are lightly armored and not much of a problem. What is a problem is the mindset. Japanese soldiers are trained to keep attacking no matter what. They charge into machine gun fire and keep coming, hitting at night over and over, forcing Marine gunners to keep firing without a break. The M240B needs a barrel swap every 2 minutes at that rate. In a pitch black jungle with the enemy closing in fast, 2 minutes is a long time. By night 12, ammo is critically low. Then comes the final banzai charge, a massive all-out human wave attack with over 10,000 troops, walking wounded included, pouring out of the jungle at once. Machine gun barrels warp from the heat and stop working mid-fight. The Marine commander calls mortar fire dangerously close to his own position. Viper attack helicopters empty their last Hydra rocket pods and 20mm cannons into the tree line just 300 feet away. The charge is stopped, barely.
I love how it's told like this happened before. I'm like, and what happens next?
When dawn comes,
At least they're getting some resistance now.
Marines have burned through 85% of their entire 15-day supply. They're alive, but they can't fight anymore. Marines win, 60% chance. Soviet Union, 1985. This one isn't close. A 1985 Soviet shock army brings over 300 T-80 tanks, hundreds of armored troop carriers loaded with infantry, and enough artillery to flatten everything for miles. On top of that, their own attack helicopters and ground attack jets. The Marines have 0 tanks. Trading heavy armor for speed and flexibility made sense for Pacific Island warfare. Against a Soviet armored push through the Fulda Gap in Germany, it's a death sentence. The Soviets don't just roll forward blindly either. They send scouts ahead to find the Marine position, then open up with massive artillery before the tanks even move in. Shell everything first, then push through what's left. Javelins hit T-80s from above, going for the thinner roof armor to get around the protective panels on the front. It works. Dozens of tanks burn in the valley. But for every one that burns, 2 more drive around it. Armored troop carriers pour through the gaps and drop soldiers directly into Marine trenches. The F-35B tries to hit Soviet artillery from high altitude because their air defense makes flying low suicidal. The Vipers hide behind hills, pop up, fire, and duck back down. It's not enough. Without GPS, HIMARS loses accuracy over longer distances. The Soviets just have more of everything. And unlike the Marines, they can keep resupplying. After 48 hours of constant artillery,
I mean, if the Marines could keep resupplying, is KO. Is what do the kids say? GG's. It's game over.
the Marine position is rubble. Anti-tank missiles run out after 3 days. Fuel is gone. There's no way out. The Marines are destroyed. Their chance of victory, 20%.
Wow. Okay, that's low.
The pattern is pretty clear. Against pre-industrial armies,
In my eyes, Marines always win though.
the technology gap is so big that the shock of modern weapons wins the battle long before the 15-day clock becomes a problem. Against modern or near-modern forces, the same design choices that make the MEU so dangerous, light, fast, no heavy armor, become the things that get it killed. It's a glass cannon. Point it at the right target, and nothing survives. Point it at a Soviet armored column, and it shatters. And what if history's greatest armies attacked a modern military base? Check out the video on your screen. Thanks for watching. What if...
Well, that was a quick stop. In my eyes, the Marines will win anyways. The Marines are always winners. I mean, I've heard the craziest stories about the Marines. I just have such respect. I don't know. I never really knew about armies or anything military before this channel, really. So I've just had a lot of fun learning, and Marines is definitely something that stood out to me during this channel. So either way, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you've served or you're serving, then thank you for your service. And yeah, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.